Welcome, everyone. We're excited today to have a webinar on 3 strategies to increase PDRI strategic value in your organization. Thank you for joining us to celebrate Valency's worldwide release of the first PDRI decision support tool, Carve. My name is Sandra McGilvery, and I'm a managing partner with Valency. I'm also pleased to introduce my business partner, Dawn Fiander McCann.
Good morning, everyone from Calgary. Thanks for joining us.
We've both experienced firsthand how planning can be done incredibly well and what the impact is when it's not. I was first inspired by PDRI 4 years ago. I was on a CII front-end planning research team responsible for the 2012 special publication called Adding Value Through Front-End Planning. During our implementation resource, I realized what a tremendous opportunity existed for a total solution approach to PDRI. If we could address the most common barriers to effective front-end planning, this tool set could help strategically change how project planning is done. The result of that, 2013, Dawn and I founded Valency. Valency provides project readiness solutions to reduce risk for organizations managing a large portfolio of capital projects. Our solutions are based on CII's front-end planning best practices. We offer facilitation services, training, and our Carve solution for PDRI decision support. Carve was developed to address 2 barriers common to the effective use of PDRI. First, we had to address the knowledge barrier around PDRI. Our research showed that senior managers could intellectually understand that PDRI should add value, but it was difficult for those unfamiliar with the toolset to easily understand those results. Secondly, the Excel-based PDRI tool worked great on a project-by-project basis, but for PDRI to become a strategic project tool, we needed to help organizations achieve consistency in results across their entire portfolio of projects. Carve is used to extract valuable data from PDRI and present those results in a visual manner that's understood by senior executives and project engineers alike. With benchmarking PDRI results for each portfolio in your organization, Carve becomes a powerful decision support tool in front-end planning. Today, we'll share just a few examples of how Carve can help you detect trends, issues, and to help predict project performance. In today's webinar, we'll walk through a scenario about Jerry and his expat assignment in Calgary. He arrived in Calgary to face some serious front-end planning challenges. Jerry's story represents a combination of our past experiences and the challenges that PDRI adopters have shared with us. Through Jerry's story, we'll share how he leveraged PDRI benchmarks from his former business unit in Houston, how he used Carve to visually connect with his vice president on the findings from his first PDRI session, and how he starts the Calgary team down a path of adoption on PDRI to help provide leading indicators of project performance. The key concepts we'll cover in this scenario include using the industrial version of the Project Definition Rating Index, the important role an external facilitator can play, how PDRI can be a key tool to aid in building team alignment, and how portfolio-level benchmarking using Carve aids in detecting trends and issues. Jerry is a project manager from Houston, relocated to Calgary for his first project in the oil sands. His team is in FEP2, or concept phase, and Jerry senses there are critical gaps and was very concerned. It was fight or flight time, and Jerry decides to take action. Jerry credits much of his successful track record in Houston to their front-end planning process, and in particular using PDRI. When Jerry started socializing the idea of conducting a PDRI, his team in Calgary was skeptical. After all, they knew how to run projects there. Sure, there's schedule and cost overruns, but that happens. Jerry's bringing his ideas from Houston up here, and he doesn't know our business. This was precisely Jerry's concern. He doesn't know the business of running projects in Calgary. And what cultural behaviors and expectations are there that are not in Houston? And how is he to ramp up fast and still add value? We've had a few viewers that say they can't hear. Dawn, can you hear me on your end?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. I apologize to any that are having difficulty hearing. If you're on the phone and you're having issues, you might try the computer audio. And if you're on computer audio, you might try the phone. We will keep going, but for anyone who's having difficulty, we'll follow up with you and make sure you get a recording of the session.
Sandra, your voice did change a few moments ago. Did you change the
Yeah, I
telephone?
just picked up off of speakerphone.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Jerry met with the VP of Engineering about using PDRI to gauge their project readiness. His VP was understandably prickly about the whole idea. We've always done things this way, Jerry. We had IPA in here 6 months ago for an assessment. Jerry sensed that his debottlenecking project had scope deficiencies because of the existing site's age, but he needed his team fully engaged to help identify those risks. He probed further with his VP on the assessment report from 6 months ago. What have we really done with this assessment? What are the action items that came out of it? And why does the team feel they didn't get any feedback they can use? Jerry shared more about PDRI with his VP, and he explained that for the past 20 years, members of the Construction Industry Institute have been working together to address project planning issues. They have developed the most effective planning methodology and tools that are available for capital projects. 96 billion in projects have been benchmarked, showing that organizations who follow CII's planning best practices reduce risk and achieve cost savings by as much as 25%. Jerry also had his firsthand experience with PDRI to share. He explained how PDRI was a collaborative approach with the team at the table for the review, and it was very different from the IPA approach. In the end, Jerry got a reluctant agreement from his VP to conduct a PDRI. He knew there was a perception of him being the bad cop from the South, so he chose an external facilitator from Calgary who had some oil sand experience, Don from Valency. Jerry met with Don to brief her on the project, his concerns, and the stakeholders who would be involved. They agreed on a process that would be very similar to what he'd experienced in Houston. Don would hold a pre-meeting with himself and the key stakeholders on session expectations and logistics. The PDRI session would take a half day, and Jerry would make the PDRI the full agenda for their regularly scheduled project update meeting. Don would prepare the PDRI results and share them with the team using Carve, and the following week, Don and Jerry would review those findings with his VP. The PDRI session invites went out, and the team reluctantly accepted. It wasn't until the pre-meeting Don held with Jerry and his key discipline leads that the tide started to shift. Don explained that 3 sections of the PDRI they would be covering: project decision, basis of design, and execution approach. She then walked them through the top 10 elements in industrial projects that pose the most risk to success if they're not well defined. When she shared a few slides on how she would be leading the team through a discussion of each element, Jerry could see the heads in the room start to nod. On the big day, Jerry had lunch brought in and got close to full attendance for the PDRI session. The group started off quiet, but Don was able to engage them and ask probing questions. By the break at 3 p.m., the group appeared to be fully bought in. And when they concluded at 4:30, even the most reluctant engineer in the team shook Jerry's hand and thanked him for pushing them to do the PDRI. They had some important action items to address on their design criteria, but everyone was on the same page in terms of the risks that had been identified. At this point, we're going to turn it over to Dawn, and she's going to walk us through the results of that PDRI session and how she shared them with Jerry.